When your battery is drained, it's time to find a power outlet. I charge my phone often when I'm at home, and it's relatively simple. I know how to do it, where I keep the cord, and where I plug it in. When you travel, it's not always as easy. When I went to Malawi, I researched to find out what kind of outlet they used. This is important to know, because I really need to take my blow dryer along for my hair. I went to Scotland once, and my adapter blew up the first time I used it, and I had to go all week with flat, yucky hair. So when I learned that Malawi uses the same kind of outlet they use in England, I was feeling pretty cocky. My daughter and son-in-law spent 6 months in England, and they have all sorts of adapters, and best of all, a blow dryer with the right kind of plug that will fit the outlet. I was going to be able to charge all my stuff and have good hair. On the way to Malawi, we spent the night in Johannesburg, South Africa, for a much-needed rest and would complete the trip the next morning. I unpacked what I needed in my hotel room, only to discover South Africa has different outlets than Malawi, so I couldn't blow dry my hair or charge up my devices. I was very disappointed, but grateful that by the next day there would be outlets that I could use to recharge and make my hair presentable. It's not only my phone and my blow dryer that need a power outlet, I do too. I can find myself tired and running out of steam. When that happens, I get easily irritated, easily angered, and just plain grouchy. And I know that it is past time to recharge. The power source I choose is important too. Here are some questions for you to consider. What different sources of power do we see present in our lives? Where do you instinctively find yourself turning first when you need to be charged up? For example, do you turn to food, friends, prayer, Bible, exercise, sleep, TV, books, or something else? Take a few moments to answer these questions, then read and discuss Colossians 3, 1 through 17. The passage from Colossians give us insights into the negative things we plug into, the things we thought looked good or everyone else was doing, the things we thought would make us happy. Things like sexual immorality, moral corruption, lust, evil desire, and greed are all mentioned. Maybe you have plugged into these things or know someone who has. When I was leading a Bible study at the prison in Newton, the men in my group loved this passage because they knew all too well what it was to plug into the wrong things. The wrong things they plugged into left them estranged from their families and landed them in prison. They loved the idea that they could just take off these things like they would take off a dirty shirt. Take off the old self and the old things that you used to do, even the anger, rage, malice, slander, obscene language, and lies. But these guys knew, and you do too, that you have to do more than just take off the old. You have to replace it with something better. Put on a new, clean shirt, the new self. We need to connect with God or plug into God. We can do that by spending time in prayer, reading scripture, singing praises, giving thanks to God, sitting at the feet of Jesus. Then we can put on the new self, things like compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. We are tolerant, forgiving, and best of all, loving. What we plug into makes a big difference. What will you plug into this week? What new elements of faith in God's grace and promises and then moral excellence will you focus on this week to kickstart your progressive charge?